Welcome back to the channel's Super Academico and Blue Eye Patch. Let us keep the reading of my book Clueders, Meire Pop Beyond the Cloud, available on Amazon. In this part, we will begin the reading of the Chapter 7, 2 Futures, 1 Decision. Don't forget to subscribe to both channels and like and share the video. Let's go! Chapter 7, 2 Futures, 1 Decision. I woke up with a sense of deep uncertainty. You know, when even to breathe seems to carry hesitation, and we end up expelling air in an irregular way, sometimes vibrating the lips as a way to decrease the tension. I could not explain what I was feeling. I wanted to force me to remember that I was just a teenager, a hardworking student, a good daughter, and a girlfriend. Just because I was a blogger at the moment with a certain popularity, I was having to suffer the consequences of a plot of a scale still unknown. I lay in bed thinking about a number of things. Even though it was Monday, I was on vacation, and so I could give myself that little luxury. If our future is the result of the projection of our actions in the digital world, then there are 2 possible paths being glimpsed at this time. If the Clueder culture that I and others like Vinny Mayo represent are becoming predominant in the world, then I suppose there will be some sort of rebellious transition based on the technology we have mastered and created, but which in the end will lead to a more optimistic society with different priorities from those of today, very focused on work and the accumulation of material things. After all, our priority lies in the accumulation of information and symbolic elements. For most of us, Clueders, gamers, geeks, and nerds in general, having some device with internet access is more important than eating. Allow me the exaggeration. It may sound like a crazy utopia, but it's just a trend or a dream. If the prevailing mentality is what Professor Mello has apparently been building since the early days of the Clueder culture, then we tend to have an obedient society, almost disciplined soldiers as in the games he helps to write. Pop culture of our time seems to show people that there is a latent rebellion, just so we do not simply accept the fact that we are mere soldiers or workers of a system or game. Note, remember what we talked about Hunger Games, Divergent, and Maze Runners. However, at the same time, it is part of the role of pop culture also promote the acceptance of life as it is, being the same a mere escape from reality. Thus, we would be more on the way to live as Professor Mello seems to predict in his resentful insertions regarding the disinterest and alienation of young people regarding literature, critical ability, and concentration. If so, what do the supposed messages of the future to me and to Marcos mean? If they are true and not a delirium, which I believe less and less, then it means that this dark and dystopic future is already in place. Our role there seems to be a very ineffective resistance at the moment, and that is why we are appealing to try to change the past, using the very technological environment built by them. Is that right? Note, I know it looks like an old science fiction movie script, but it's what it seems. Reality seems a lot tougher. The sad feeling didn't pass, but the reflections encouraged me to at least get up and start my day. I watched carefully the routine of my parents on that normal January morning. They would run to and from. A few laughs and a few briefings for the day. I thought, is this all a form of servitude? Meire, my dear, what are you thinking so fully? Asked my father. Dad, do you feel imprisoned by our current lifestyle? What do you mean? Excessive work? Little free time? Many daily demands? Few prospects for the future? It seems a pessimistic view. Where did this come from? All of a sudden.
It was not so suddenly like that.
My mother informed him. Yeah, Dad, since I started to address this line of thinking on my blog, things have been kind of weird. I remember Marcos offered a lot of resistance to that. We've discussed it a few times. And now the situation with that Professor Mello? Asked my father. That's right. Maybe we, the school, society, are charging a lot from your generation. After all, you are the future. But it doesn't mean that the perspective is so negative. Answering your question, I don't feel like a prisoner. Yeah, Meire, our lives are a mix of choices within preconditions. We should make the most of the results. What if one is so resentful of this result that he builds a whole architecture of submission of others to try to redeem his own life? At the expense of others? asked my mother. Well, yes, I think so. Then we can only resist, preferably with compassion. And if it doesn't, with a fight, added my father. I think I understand. I was a little more thoughtful. They continued their chores, then kissed me, and went off to work. I had my breakfast and called Leandro. I asked him to arrange a meeting with Professor Mello. How is it? After everything that happened? Yes, Leo. It's the right thing to do. And don't worry, you'll be there too. And I'll see if Marcos can go too. And why does your ex-boyfriend need to be there too? I giggled with satisfaction at his unrestrained jealousy. Because he is someone close to Professor Mello, and it will be good for him to see that we are with someone of his trust. How so, Meire? What do you intend to do? I'm not sure yet, but we do need to do something before it's too late. Wait, what do you mean? We'll talk later. Love ya. Okay, love you too. I hope you know what you're doing. Me too. We hang up. I called Marcos immediately. He was not long in answering.
I hope you have enjoyed this reading. Continuing to support the channel's Super Academico and Blue Eye Patch. Subscribe, like and share the video. Bye-bye.